What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the Crypto Sherpa Show, where I cover the latest cryptocurrency news articles to keep you up to date, on what's going on in the crypto space. But happy Tuesday. Hope everyone's having an awesome day and staying warm. Those of you out up north, please stay safe, stay warm. Roads are icy and scary. Right now, our Nashville club is closed for the day because of that. I think Massachusetts actually made it up there. It looks pretty cold up there. I saw snow on the roads and everything, but just wherever you're at, if you're in this winter storm, please stay safe. Have a nice hot cup of coffee to just to survive this little breakthrough. And a little bit of that cold storm is coming down here. It was like 40 this morning, and I was like, oh, this is too cold for Florida. But yeah, so welcome back. What's going on in the crypto news today? I think the biggest news is Tether launching USAT, a stablecoin under federal regulation, first one under the Genius Act since it came into law. So it's abiding by all those rules. We'll cover the article to let you know about it, what it means, what happens, and we have a handful of other articles for you. Another big thing, though, is that the banks are already into Bitcoin right now. Like a majority of them are involved some way or the other. I think they were saying about 60%. There was a post on Twitter with Bitcoin Magazine talking about the majority of US banks are now into Bitcoin. This is bullish news. Even though the narrative is still bearish right now, we're getting a lot of bullish news still. So here we see a lot of the big players, JP Morgan. We have the custody side and trading. So they've already announced trading. Bank of America, nothing yet, but they are advising their clients to consider Bitcoin. Citigroup is exploring custody, and trading is with HNW, so high net worth clients only. Wells Fargo, Goldman Sachs, Morgan Stanley, same thing, no custody yet, but their trading is only for their high net worth clients. US Bank, custody is only for high net worth clients, but no trading yet on their platform. PNC both launched a custody and trading platform. And then going on, let's see, UBS down there has announced trading, and Fifth Third's Bank is exploring custody and exploring trading. So yeah, guys, these are some big names out there. Banks are involved. It's too late to turn around. You can't do it anymore. They have to get on to progress. Otherwise, they're going to get left behind as old technology and just be forgotten. And they will be damned to let that happen. So yeah, banks are getting involved. It's bullish news. It's not decentralized bullish news, but it is centralized news because, again, we're living in blockchain space. We're going to live in a world of centralization and decentralization. Right now, the system we currently live in is just completely centralized. So we're getting that freedom and option. But again, like the centralized side with the crypto and blockchain space does have to grow too along with it in order just to align functionally. I don't know. But again, so like, banks, you can see it as a bad news or a good news. Because again, the more people who get involved in crypto, whether it's in a centralized custody thing, we always say don't keep your cryptos on the exchange or banks out there because you're not in full control. But it's getting them access and starting off point. So say they start off with their bank and then they go, let me try self-custody, and then they slowly move in. So I see it as adoption news and just a bullish factor just for the entire thing. But that's Bitcoin banks. Not Bitcoin banks. Those are banks getting involved in Bitcoin. We have Bitcoin Magazine heading to Europe now. And where are they heading to? Morocco? Let's see. Breaking. Bitcoin Magazine is officially operating to Netherlands, my bad. And we're bringing Bitcoin to Europe. So it looks like we're going to be expecting a Bitcoin conference out there, which is very nice. Now let's go into the articles we have for you today. I think I saw this one yesterday right after my show, but it looks like Rhode Island is reintroducing a bill to study blockchain and cryptocurrency. So let's hear about that. Like, did it stop? I think it did, but let's hear if they made any changes to revitalize this education. So Rhode Island lawmakers reintroduced a bill to study blockchain and work on crypto innovation earlier this month. Now, Rhode Island introduced a bill to temporarily exempt small Bitcoin transactions from state taxes. Now, Rhode Island lawmakers have reintroduced a bill to establish a special legislative commission to study blockchain technology and crypto, showing that some continuous pro-Bitcoin momentum for a state to explore its role in the digital asset economy. Now, the Senate Bill S2198, introduced by Senator Lou DePalma, Gu, Burke, Urso, Paulino, and Zurir, would create a 5-member commission tasked with reviewing blockchain and cryptocurrency activity across the country, examining current Rhode Island laws, studying non-fungible tokens, and consulting industry experts. And again, I kind of ranted on NFTs the other day because Nifty Gateway, the popular NFT marketplace, is going so long. Farewell. So you got to get your stuff off of there. But I had my rant of saying, like, NFTs have a use case, but when everything was pumping, you have all these crypto punks, kitties out there, like, coming out of nowhere, like, having such high value. It's like, this isn't going to last because, again, there was no utility behind it. But what NFTs do show is proof of ownership on whatever blockchain the NFT was created on. So this is where we can get real world assets, tokenize your house, car, deed, land. Like that's the real utility of NFTs out there, just to really take advantage of the blockchain technology of showing proof of ownership out there. So that was my rant on that. But it looks like Rhode Island's been studying that for some time now. But the commission would also provide legislative recommendations to foster a pro-business environment while ensuring appropriate consumer protection. Now, the commission composition includes the Rhode Island Secretary of Commerce as chair and the Director of the Department of Business Regulation, and 3 public members appointed to represent academia, financial institutions, and federal security expertise. Now, the panel is expected to meet at least 4 times per year, with a final report due by January 5th, 2028. Oh, wow, we got 2 years for that, and will operate publicly, posting its findings online. So it's going to be a long haul study. Now, the bill is not entirely new. It passed the Rhode Island Senate last year as S0373, but stalled in the House at H5810. Now, the Rhode Island Bitcoin Policy Institute posted the reintroduction of the law on social media, thanking Senator DePalma for sponsoring the bill and noting that the discussions with Deputy House Speaker Ray Hu have made the optimistic about passage this session. So with cryptocurrency adoption growing nationwide and states competing to attract blockchain businesses, Rhode Island's effort reflects a broader push to balance innovation with oversight and establish itself as a hub for emerging financial technologies. And here is the bill as we see for the S2198 to reintroduce education on blockchain and cryptocurrency. Now, Rhode Island's Bitcoin push. Earlier this month, Rhode Island lawmakers reintroduced a bill to temporarily exempt small-scale Bitcoin transactions from state income and capital gains taxes, continuing a push started last year to reduce tax friction for everyday Bitcoin use. Now, Senate Bill S2021, introduced by Senator Peter A. Apollino and referred to the Senate Finance Committee, would exempt Bitcoin sales or exchanges of up to $5,000 per month with a $20,000 annual cap for both residents and Rhode Island-based businesses. Now, the bill adds a new section to the state's personal income tax code defining Bitcoin as digital decentralized currency based on blockchain technology. Now, taxpayers could self-certify eligibility on returns without reporting individual transactions and maintaining records only for potential audits. Now, the Department of Business Regulation would issue guidance on the valuation and record keeping. And if passed, the exemption would take effect January 1st, 2027, and then sunset January 1st, 2028, serving as a pilot program to treat Bitcoin more like everyday money rather than a speculative asset. So Rhode Island is like progressing. They're making rules again, like the one I totally forgot about when I covered that about like the eliminating taxes on Bitcoin purchases or sales or exchanges for $5,000 per month, $20,000 cap. So you're taking away that capital gains tax. Now you can actually use your Bitcoin to go buy that piece of bubble gum, go buy your coffee, maybe pay your car insurance. It's like it's getting away that tax because you're treating Bitcoin as an actual currency now. So that was some cool bills passed, but yeah, so they're going to be studying crypto and blockchain. If it passes, it'll start January 1st, 2027 and conclude the following year. And that's where I'll probably get some more decisions and maybe some potentially new laws to go or bills to be introduced as they study more. But that's Rhode Island's news. That's continuing on their education and adopting Bitcoin, which I love to hear the news in. Now let's talk about the first federally regulated stablecoin for the U.S. market, and I mentioned this already in the beginning. It's USAT, Tether's latest stablecoin launch. So one of the largest private holders of Bitcoin, Tether, has formally entered the U.S. regulated stablecoin market with the launch of USAT, a dollar-backed token issued under America's new federal stablecoin framework. All right, so Tether, the world's largest digital asset company by stablecoin circulation, announced Tuesday the official launch of USAT, a federally regulated dollar-backed stablecoin designed specifically for use in the United States under the recently enacted Genius Act. Now, USAT is issued by Anchorage Digital Bank, NA, a federally chartered U.S. bank and one of the first institutions approved to issue payments and stablecoins under the new law, Tether said. Now, the launch marks Tether's first stablecoin built to operate fully within the U.S. regulated financial system, following years of regulatory scrutiny around offshore issued dollar tokens and whatnot. So the debut follows the company's announcement late last year detailing the token design and naming former White House Crypto Council Executive Director Bo Hines as the CEO of Tether USAT. Now, with Tuesday's rollout, the USAT is now available to US users seeking a dollar-backed token that complies with the federal banking and stablecoin rules. And I'm surprised too. Like, I know there's a lot of people for that too. It's like they're so into the US government, and it's like I like being governed, control. Yeah, you can tell me how my money works, but there's a lot of people that were waiting for this. It's great news. I love it. It's cool that it came out and everything. But a lot of us in the crypto space are degens and wanted to get away from that and be in full control of our finances. That's why we went to Bitcoin. But some people like the stability of a stable coin, but they didn't like the offshore practices that these companies used to do because there was so much regulations in the US that's like, oh, nope, we're not doing business here. Let's go open up one in El Salvador. Let's go to Russia, wherever it was crypto friendly. Now it's like we got some friendlier rules. They're back, and yeah, so I forgot where I was going off with that. But let's continue on with the article. Now, the Genius Act was established the first national framework governing stablecoins marketed to U.S. users, requiring full reserve backing, Bank of Qualified Issuer status, and ongoing regulatory supervision. Now, under the law, offshore issued stablecoins that do not meet these standards face restrictions across U.S. regulated exchanges, banks, and payment platforms. Now, USAT is structured to meet those requirements. According to the company, Cantor Fitzgerald will serve as the stablecoin's designated reserve custodian and preferred primary dealer, providing transparency and oversight of reserves from the launch. Now, Tether's dominant role in the crypto space, which they are killing it. If you look at their coin market cap, they are the highest coin by market cap, number 3 on the list, just under Ethereum. And they are above USDC, the second largest stablecoin by market cap, with a market cap of 71 billion, while Tether has a market cap of 186. So they are the largest, and they are really the dominant ones out there. But while Tether's flagship USDT remains the most widely used stablecoin globally, its offshore structure limit its role in the US market under the new law. Now, USAT allows Tether to maintain USDT's international dominance, while also offering US institutions a regulated alternative tailored to domestic payments and settlement systems. Now, this launch represents a new chapter for digital dollars in the United States, said Paolo Arduano, the CEO of Tether. Now, USDT has proven at a global scale that digital dollars can deliver trust and utility, and USAT extends that mission with a federally regulated product made in America. Now, Bo Hines said that the new stablecoin is aimed squarely at institutional users. USAT is designed to meet federal regulated expectations while delivering stability, transparency, and responsible governance, he said. It also ensures the United States remains competitive in the evolution of digital money. And during its initial rollout, USAT will be available on platforms including Kraken, Crypto.com, OKX, Bybit, and MoonPay, with additional U.S. regulated exchanges and banking partners expected to follow shortly. Now, according to BitcoinTreasuries.net, Tether holds 96,370 Bitcoin, worth roughly $8.6 billion. So I didn't know that was in the reserve. I guess they keep adding to it too. But I think that we just got more recent news about Tether adding more gold to their supply in the last quarter of 2025. So yeah, so that's kind of really good on them. They made a good bet getting that gold a little earlier. If only they got silver. Or is silver still up? I forgot. But yeah, everyone's kind of FOMOing into those two markets. Just be careful right now, guys. Like, I know it is like we've been hoping for silver to go up. But yeah, as I was watching Ivan on Tech this morning, is this like I do like listening to the statistics and technicals now too. It's like that is way above that 200-day moving average. So it's like I like to just heed it as a warning. Like, don't FOMO in, because when you buy high, that's when you usually will get wrecked, and price goes down. You're just stuck holding it until it goes back up to the level, or you just still want to hold it for that. But just don't FOMO in, because that's what always happens, even in crypto, Bitcoin, precious metals. Prices go up, people see in the news, that's what everyone's announcing, gold, silver. It's like, so they're questioning, should I get in over there, move my stash? Like, no, whatever you have, just still play it smartly, stick to a plan that you probably started in the very beginning. Like, you're going to buy it and hold it. If you want to add to another one, just don't go all in. Just like, if you got money to spare, then do it. But if you got bills to pay and you can't cover it, don't do it. So just a little forewarning. I love precious metals and everything. Got my 2 little silver coins right here, little paperweights, which is heavy paper or pricey paperweights now. But it's just like don't FOMO in and just put yourself in a position that you cannot hold it. So just want to stay safe on that side. But this is still cool news for Tether, though, just becoming still even more dominant worldwide. They were already dominant worldwide, and now they're regulated, and they made a product for Americans and American businesses, banks to use. I don't want to say Americans because they said in this article it's not really used for the retail people, but more for the bank side and the government. So yeah, so Tether launches USAT. Let's see how this goes out, how many people or banks will start initiating it and using it. And so that's our Tether news. Now let's continue on. What else do I have for you guys? It looks like Ripple is partnering with Saudi Arabia or Saudi Bank unit on the blockchain payments and custody. So yeah, I may not be a fan of Ripple and the XRP token. Well, I agree XRP is a solid coin. It's fast, it's cheap, and it used a lot, big community out there. I like the coin. I just don't like Ripple. That's just my thing. So, but hey, but I still got to bring you the news. I'm not just a Bitcoin news article. This is the crypto news channel. So I will bring you any crypto news that has, if it's relevant and should be shared out. So let's cover this article and hear this new partnership that Ripple made. So Ripple's agreement with Riyadh Bank highlights growing institutional interest in blockchain for payments, custody, and tokenization across the global financial markets. So Ripple has partnered with the innovation arm of Riyadh Bank, a major Saudi financial institution, to explore the use of blockchain technology within the country's financial system, signaling growing interest in blockchain-based infrastructure at the institutional level. Now, the partnership was announced Monday by Reese Merrick, Ripple's Senior Executive Officer and Managing Director for the Middle East and Africa, and Merrick said that Ripple is working with GEAL, Riyadh Bank's innovation unit, as part of an agreement to study potential applications of blockchain technology. Now, here is Reese Merrick's tweet on Twitter. More big news from the Middle East. Ripple is partnering with GEAL Movement, the innovation arm of Riyadh Bank, to advance Saudi Arabia's financial future through blockchain innovation. Now, the kingdom's visionary leadership has established Saudi Arabia as a forward-thinking global hub for digital transformation. Together with GEAL, we'll explore use cases for cross-border payments, digital asset custody, and tokenization in support of the Vision of 2030's agenda. Now, I'm excited to help shape the future of Saudi Arabia's financial infrastructure. And here is the photos of them making that deal at, the GEAL event conference. So the arrangement will take the form of a memorandum of understanding that focuses on cross-border payments, digital asset custody, and tokenization. Now, these efforts are intended to support Vision 2030, Saudi Arabia's long-term strategy to modernize its economy and financial infrastructure while minimizing dependency on oil exports. Now, the deal is notable given that Riyadh Bank's scale and role in the domestic financial system. The bank is among Saudi Arabia's largest lenders, with more than $130 billion in assets as of mid-2025, positioning it as a key participant in any broader shift toward blockchain-based financial services. Now, the Middle East has been emerging as a major market for digital asset innovation. While Saudi Arabia has historically taken a cautious approach to blockchain technology, the broader Middle East is moving more decisively in the direction led in large part of the United Arab Emirates. Now, the UAE has positioned itself as a regional hub for digital assets by pairing clear regulatory frameworks with active engagement for global companies. Regulators in Dubai and Abu Dhabi have introduced dedicated digital asset regimes covering exchanges, custody providers, and stablecoin issuers, giving companies a clearer path to operate within traditional financial markets. Now, this approach has attracted major players seeking regulated access to the Middle East and beyond, and Ripple has expanded its presence in the UAE as part of this trend. The company has secured regulatory approval for its Ripple USD stablecoin, which is designed for institutional use cases such as payments and stablecoins. Now, here is a chart of the RLUSD stablecoin has eclipsed 1.3 billion in circulation. Is that their market cap going? Okay, so they're about 7 times less than USDC. So if they were to multiply by 7x, then they'll be the number 2 largest, but we'll see how Ripple does it. Now, beyond regional developments, tokenization activity on public blockchains is also increasingly global. The XRP ledger recently surpassed $1 billion in on-chain tokenized assets, reflecting growing institutional use of blockchain-based infrastructure. Now, the increase has been driven by a combination of tokenized U.S. Treasury products and funds, as well as the growth of RLUSD, which has begun trading on major platforms, including Binance. So Ripple is expanding. This is a cool new partnership to do with a big bank. So again, I don't disagree that Ripple's being adopted around the world. There's always some news article about them, they partner with this bank, they partner with this government. They're going to help and create SCBDC. So Ripple has been a big player in the space. I don't ever see Ripple and XRP ever are leaving the space, they'll just be one of those big players. How we were talking about like the first article, the big banks out there, the big names, JP Morgan, Bank of America, Citigroup. It's like that's how I'm seeing like a lot of these cryptocurrencies out there and their role. So XRP is going to be like one of those big names out there. Bitcoin will definitely be in my opinion, still the dominant, the head of it all, but it will be a part of that group. So yeah. So even though I don't like Ripple, it's like I will still share any crypto news I can because this is adoption. More people get involved, and more people just know how to make a send, receive, copy, and paste. It's like the more people who can know just how to do that, because blockchain's simple to do, then like I think it's a win. So that's our Ripple news, partnering with Saudi Arabia Bank. Now let's continue on with that neck of the woods. Wait, was that even that neck of Saudi Arabia? Now let's move a little bit further east and talk about Russia and Ukraine. What's going on with there? Because Russia just blacklisted a crypto exchange wallet or a crypto exchange Whitebit over Ukraine support. So let's talk about this. So what's happening overseas? Russian prosecutors allege that Whitebit supported Ukraine's military with about $11 million in donations, including funds for drones since the war began. Now, also, this just always points out, though, why you don't want to keep your money on exchanges or banks out there. You're not in full control. If they blacklisted it and you have their account, you won't be able to use it or gain access to it. So it's always good to have your own self-custody crypto wallet. So that way you hold onto your keys. And if you want to send crypto, there's no one saying yes or no to it. You're making that decision. So I just want to point that out there for the importance of self-custody. But Russia has moved to block crypto exchange Whitebit after prosecutors labeled the platform and its affiliated organizations as undesirable over allegations tied to support for Ukraine's war effort. Now, the Prosecutor General's Office of the Russian Federation posted a foreign cryptocurrency exchange that finances the Ukrainian regime and has been declared undesirable in the Russian Federation. Now, the prosecutors also accused the exchange of enabling gray schemes to move money out of Russia and facilitating other illegal activity, as Moscow steps up scrutiny of crypto rails linked to cross-border flows. Now, funds allegedly used to procure drones for Ukrainian forces. So since the first days of the military operation, the crypto exchange has actively supported the Ukrainian armed forces, implementing various programs in collaboration with Kyiv regime institutions, the Russian office said. Now, in 2022, Whitebit's management donated a total of about $11 million. Of this, $900,000 was allocated for the purchase of drone systems for Ukrainian armed forces, and the prosecutor said that the leadership participated in international charity auctions using the proceeds to purchase drones for Ukraine militants, including members of the Azov terrorist organization, which is banned in our country, it said. Now, move sharpens scrutiny of crypto and wartime financing. So Whitebit's own charity page says it has donated more than $11 million since February 2022 and says its payments arm, WhitePay, has helped collect more than 160 million USDT in crypto donations. Now, Russia's undesirable designation effectively bans activity tied to the organization inside the country and can expose people who cooperate with it criminally and liability. Now, according to the rights and the legal trackers that follow the registry, the move lands against long-running tug-of-war over crypto's role in wartime finance. And soon after Russia's invasion of Ukraine in 2022, Ukraine's digital ministry asked major exchanges to block Russian users, and some firms said that they would follow sanctioned rules without imposing blanket bans unless required by law. Now, let's see. Oh, we have an update to this article of the exclusive comments by Whitebit to Crypto News. So it's always nice when we get updates. I always like cover an article that says we reached out to blah, 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 but have not reached back out to us. So here, okay, let's get an update now. So Whitebit is aware of the decision announced by a Russian prosecutor's office and considers it the strongest confirmation of the company's clear and consistent pro-Ukrainian position. Now, Whitebit is an exchange founded in 2018 by Ukrainian entrepreneur Vladimir Nozov. Now, following the start of Russia's full-scale invasion of Ukraine in 2022, Whitebit took a principled stance. It blocked all users from Russia and Belarus and discontinued trading pairs with the Russian ruble. Now, as a result of this decision, this exchange lost approximately 30% of its user base at the time. Now, Whitebit has consistently maintained a pro-Ukrainian position. In 2022, Whitebit signed a memorandum of cooperation with Ukraine's Ministry of Foreign Affairs. And under this collaboration, the exchange helped with consular supportive services in the country, where Whitebit has offices supported the ministry's anti-crisis center and a 24/7 helpline for Ukrainian citizens abroad. Now, from spring 2022, Whitebit, through its white paper, Crypto Processing Services, has enabled cryptocurrency donations for the largest charitable and humanitarian foundation in Ukraine. This includes cooperation with United 24, the official Ukrainian government fundraiser initiative launched by President Vladimir Zelensky. And in total, Whitebit and WhitePay have facilitated more than 160 million USD in crypto donations, supporting both humanitarian and defense-related fundraising. Now, over the 4 years of full-scale war, Whitebit has donated around 11 million USD of its own fund to support Ukraine's defense forces and humanitarian initiatives for civilians. And these actions reflect the company's values and civic position as business with roots in Ukraine operating during wartime. Now, Whitebit founder Vladimir Nosov has also been recognized with several national honors for his contribution to supporting Ukraine during the war, and these include awards from the Presidential United 24 Initiative, the Commander-in-Chief of Armed Forces of Ukraine, and the Leadership of Ukraine's Security Service and Military Intelligence. So in addition, he has received more than 50 letters of gratitude from military units and divisions of the Armed Forces of Ukraine for sustained support and cooperation. So despite the significant business impact of its 2022 decision, Whitebit has since grown more than eightfold, expanded internationally, and continues to operate as a global cryptocurrency exchange serving in compliance with applicable international regulations. And Whitebit does not operate in the Russian market and has had no users or business activity there since 2022. So the company remains focused on global growth, transparency, and supporting Ukraine, and stands for the values and guidelines. So I guess just people in Russia then are still utilizing Whitebit because they have not been using it since 2022. As I said, they stopped all transactions. But again, someone can easily get a VPN, say they're in Ukraine, say they're in Greece, and log on to the exchange. As long as it doesn't do a KYC, they know your customer, they can use that platform. So I'm guessing Russia's blacklisting the crypto exchange just realized, like, oh yeah, our users aren't used. So how are they going to do that? Are they going to blacklist it from the website entirely? So their internet? Something's going to happen. But that was like, though, an update from what's going on. So yeah, this article came out, just they're blacklisting it, but then here it comes back, Whitebit. Hey, look, we sanctioned you guys since 2022. We announced a pro-Ukraine stance. So this is what we're doing. And you got to respect a business's decision for what they're going to do. So if that's how they played it, that's what it is. So that's our update there going for you. If you see this article, Russia blacklisted article, Whitebit comes back saying, yeah, they banned him since 2022. So really nothing there. Now, what's the matter, Baxter? What's the matter? Why are you crying? Sorry, I just hear Baxter down there crying for a little bit. So, okay, last article today, guys. Just be aware of, if you're applying for a crypto job out there, be aware of deepfake video calls. This is a target by North Korea, part of the Lazarus group. That's usually one of their big scamming groups out there. But North Korea-linked hackers use deepfake video calls to target crypto workers. So hackers are using AI-generated video calls to impersonate trusted contacts and trick crypto workers into installing malware. So if you're a crypto employee, just be aware of this type of scam going out there. Just always know what you're clicking on or who you're giving access to. That's what usually happens in these scams out there. They link you up to a Zoom call, they tell you to share your screen, or they do something where they're able to connect to your computer, and then boom, it's done. So you got to be careful with this out here. But North Korea-linked hackers continue to use video calls, including AI-generated deepfakes, to trick crypto developers and workers into installing malicious software on their own devices. Now, in the latest instance disclosed by BTC Prague co-founder Marin Kuchar, attackers used a compromised Telegram account and a staged video call to push malware disguised as a Zoom audio fix, he said. Now, the high-level hacking campaign appears to be targeting Bitcoin and crypto users, Kuchar disclosed on Thursday on X. And again, here's a red flag. So if you're in a Zoom call and somebody on the other end saying, oh, there's an audio fix, and they ask you to do something, red flag. Because unless they can fix it themselves, don't you give access to anything if you're hosting. Just be aware. Now, attackers contact the victim and set up a Zoom or Teams call, Kuchar explained. During the call, they use an AI-generated video to appear as someone the victim knows. They then claim there is an audio problem and ask the victim to install a plugin or file to fix it, and that's where you don't want to do it, guys. So do not do it if this ever happens. Now, once installed, the malware grants attackers full system access, allowing them to steal Bitcoin, take over Telegram accounts, and then use those accounts to target others. Now, it comes as AI-driven impersonation scams have pushed crypto-related losses to records of $17 billion in 2025, with attackers increasingly using deepfake videos, voice cloning, and fake identities to deceive victims and gain access to funds, according to data from the blockchain analytics firm's Chainalysis. Now, similar attacks out there are the attack as described by Kushai closely matches a technique first documented by cybersecurity company Huntress, which reported in July last year that these attackers lure a targeted crypto worker into a staged Zoom call after initial contact on Telegram, often using a fake meeting link hosted on spoofed Zoom domain. Now, during the call, the attackers would claim there is an audio problem and instruct the victim to install what appears to be a Zoom-related fix, which is actually a malicious Apple script that initiates a multi-stage macOS infection, according to Huntress. Now, once executed, the script disables shell history, checks for installs Rosetta 2, a translated layer, on Apple Silicon devices, and then repeatedly prompts the user for their system password to gain elevated privileges. Now, the study found that the malware that Chain installs multiple payloads, including persistent backdoors, keylogging, and clipboard tools, as well as crypto wallet stealers. So a similar sequence Kuchar pointed out to when he disclosed on Monday that his Telegram account was compromised and later used to target others in the same way. Now, the social patterns of this are that security researchers at Huntress have attributed the intrusions with high confidence to a North Korean-linked advanced persistent threat tracked as TA444, also known as Blue Noroff, and by several other aliases operating under the umbrella term Lazarus Group, a state-sponsored group focused on cryptocurrency theft since at least 2017. Now, when asked about the operational goals of these campaigns and whether they think there's a correlation, Sean Zhang, Chief of Information Security Officer at blockchain security firm Slowmist, told Decrypt that the latest attack on Kushar is possibly connected to broader campaigns from the Lazarus Group. Now, so no single indicator is decisive on its own. It's the combination that matters, Zhang said. Deepfakes-enabled lures typically rely on new or disposable meeting accounts and look alike to Zoom or Teams link, and the call quickly becomes highly scripted. Attackers create urgency and push the target to install the so-called Zoom/Teams fix. Earlier in the conversation, he explained, there is a clear reuse across campaigns. We consistently see targeting of specific wallets and the use of very similar install scripts. David Lieberman, co-creator of the decentralized AI compute network Gonka, said, images and videos can no longer just be treated as reliable proof of authenticity, Lieberman said, adding that the digital content should be cryptographically signed by its creator, and such signatures should require multi-factor authorization. Now, narratives and context such as this have become an important signal to track and detect, given how these attacks rely on familiar social platforms, he said, and North Korea's Lazarus Group is tied to campaigns against crypto firms, workers, and developers, using tailored malware and sophisticated social engineering to steal digital assets and access credentials. So just be aware of this type of scam out there, guys. It's a Zoom link attack scam or team meetings. So so how to stay safe if you're ever in a Zoom meeting, Teams meeting, the other person on the other side is having some audio issues, they can't hear you or they can't talk in their mic, and then they text you like, oh, download this link right there. Just be aware, that's a scam. You should not have to do that in these Zoom calls or link. That's a problem on their end where they either need to connect their microphone, do whatever if it's legit. But if they're asking you to download like a software to fix the issue, stop right there. It's a scam, and they're going to try to steal as much data as they can off your computer. So just be safe out there. I'm here keeping you informed on everything going on, so that way you know what's happening, and that way you don't fall for the scam. But that is it for all the news I have for you today. I'm going to get ready for our crypto class here at the Crypto Club. Let's take a look at our Fear and Greed Index. We are at a 35, so we moved up at least 1 or 2 points since yesterday. So we're still in fear territory, but that's always a great time to buy. Technical charts are showing the summary is still sell for Bitcoin, while oscillators are showing neutral. That switched from sell to neutral during my show, but the moving average is still supporting a strong sell. So until the moving average just moves up, we're going to be in that territory for some bit. And let's take a look at the crypto bubbles. We are in green today, so it looks like some altcoins are doing well, but I know we are still hurting from so much of a dip with altcoins. Like, be careful with the altcoins right now. It's still a bearish narrative right now. And again, don't make a mistake don't don't make some big mistakes right now that we've all experienced before. It's like we hold on to the coin, we're hoping for an altcoin run. My coin didn't pump. You go to the social medias out there, they say, oh, just hodl it, but then still you're down 90%, which could be it, or then it goes further down another 90%. So again, like we're in a time right now where some altcoins just might not reemerge this season. Like we're all hope for that big alt season still to come, just got delayed. But again, that might not happen. I'm still thinking like we're just still in a Bitcoin narrative only. Bitcoin adoption's booming, stablecoin rules are happening. So until we get past that and people are accepting that, then I will feel we'll move on to an altcoin space. I'm not sure your random altcoins are due, but definitely those blue chip ones, Solana, Cardano, XRP, like the big chip ones, those altcoins will finally have their moment to shine too. So yeah, just be aware of that going on. So it's bullish news. Some altcoins are in the green. Love it. Bitcoin's at 87,000. We're still holding that position between 92 and 86. So I'm hoping we get back up to 92, but there's still a chance that we'll be just hovering this for some time. But that is it for the news, guys. I hope everyone has an awesome day, sweating, smiling together. Welcome to the show. Thanks for being here. But I hope everyone has an awesome Tuesday, and I will see you guys again tomorrow with some more crypto news. So stay classy. Love you guys.